Who might that gentleman be? You'd be asking. Fair question. That he is Scott Moore. He played for the North Queensland Cowboys in 2013, and he is the last English player that the North Queensland Cowboys had signed up until a couple of hours ago, because John Bateman has been signed to play for the North Queensland Cowboys for 2 seasons starting in 2025. Out of the clouds, bizarre acquisition. It did not end nicely at the West Tigers for John Bateman, who had 2 years on his contract to run, and now he's zipping up to Townsville. And I'll tell you what, after I've been to Townsville earlier this year, bro, it's going to be a new world for John Bateman as far as humidity and heat goes. It's going to be wild for him to adapt, but he's a mature player. He's got enough years underneath the belt to combat the conditions up there. What do I think about this signing? It is such a bizarre signing that I still need to come to terms with it, but I'm going to look at this as half glass full. I'm going to look at it as a full glass. John Bateman at his best in this Cowboys side that has Scott Drinkwater and Tom Dearden. I mean, if Bateman can rediscover his 2019 Canberra Raiders form and do the best he can in forming combinations with the aforementioned men, I mean, this could be a really good signing for the North Queensland Cowboys. Now, will he start? Do I think that he will start? No, he will be coming off the bench, surely, for the next couple of seasons anyway. He has been, I think that's fair to say, obviously, he has been signed to come up to the Cowboys and be that mature leader in the forward pack, or maybe just to our second rowers, because you look at Lukey, Nene, Shibasaki and O'Donnell. Those are our 4 first string options, or were our first string options at second row. A little bit of Cohen Hess here and there as well, if needed be. But John Bateman coming up does provide a little bit more experience, leadership, and provides really good depth. I mean, if he can come on and if he can zigzag his way across the line and then potentially find either a Tom Dearden, who's always running straight and hard, or if he can find a Scott Drinkwater, or if he can run off a Scott Drinkwater line himself, I mean, there could be some plays where John Bateman could really shine. And what I also like about the Bateman acquisition is that he brings mongrel. You look at Lukey and Nene, and you look at Cohen Hess. Cohen Hess, he is a big, fearsome protector. Ruben Cotter plays with no bullshit in his game. He'll just flatten you in an instant. So there's not really a player in this Cowboys side that has that menacing mongrel, and John Bateman can come up and provide that for us. If we start a game potentially a little flat next year, Bateman can get the instruction from Todd Payton and say, hey, Bateman, rev him up hardcore. Now, do I think Bateman and Payton will work well together? Well, you look at the likes of Finafui and Tom Gilbert over the past couple of years for the Cowboys, and those second rowers have blossomed. And a lot of people would say right now that the Cowboys don't need any second rowers, and I think technically that is true, but I think what Bateman does bring is just, it fills up that last little bit of a gap perfectly. If he comes up, works well with everybody, if he can adapt to the heat, if he can adapt to the heat and adapt to the new style of play really quickly, I think this could be a really good acquisition, but this is the first English player the Cowboys have signed since Scott Moore made 6 appearances for the Cowboys back in 2013. He was a hooker for us. Freaking had a frog in me throat. But yeah, Scott Moore, he was the last English player to don the Cowboys jersey, and now we've got John Bateman coming up for the next couple of years. So there's just one more point as well that I'd like to bring up, and that is Cowboys, and it's one of the reasons why I absolutely adore them, is the Cowboys, they don't muck around when it comes to off-field stuff. Take, for instance, Ben Barber. You look at Nene McDonald, Luciano Leilua. I think he would have been out on his backside a lot quicker if he wasn't under contract so soon. But Leilua didn't last too long after he was mucking around up in Townsville. So what I'm trying to get at is that if Bateman sort of brings a little bit of noise and drama, sort of what happened at the West Tigers, I'd like to think that no matter what, the Cowboys will put their foot down and say, we don't muck around up here in Townsville when it comes to the off-field stuff. Todd Payton has said for years now that if you are a dickhead, you will not play, and you might even be cut very, very quickly. So through a half glass full lens, through a full glass lens, I'm keen. I'm keen to see it. It is still bizarre. It's still such a bizarre signing. I never thought that he would ever be a Cowboy, but alas, here we are. So welcome to Townsville, Mr. John Bateman. And look, if he can provide his best, if he can be at his menacing best without giving away too much penalties or being too well disciplined, it should be a good acquisition for the North Queensland Cowboys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. NRL season's not too far away. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you. Take care. Adios. #RideandHigh 2025.